Coming up next on this edition of In the City, Mayor McFarland explains why MTSU student flight operations are moving to Shelbyville. Also, the Nashville Zoo paid a visit to Hobgood Elementary students with special guests in tow. Plus, Area 16 Special Olympics is back and bigger than ever with a two-day event at MTSU. And an important election is coming up. The Administrator of Elections tells us all we need to know. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. MTSU's Student Flight Operations program is expanding and has outgrown Murfreesboro's municipal airport. Mayor McFarland explains the solution.
MTSU has decided to move the university's student flight operations from the Murfreesboro Municipal Airport to the Shelbyville Municipal Airport. With the Murfreesboro Airport being landlocked at 225 acres, Shelbyville's airport has over 600 acres.
I mean, I like to use the term, and we all have heard this, you're trying to put 10 pounds of flour in a 5-pound sack. And that really is what happened with MTSU at the airport, that MTSU had increased their pro-pilot program from roughly 400 and some odd students in 2017 to 900 students in 2020 and closer to 1,100 right now. That model doesn't work at the airport. You know, there's roughly 75% of our operations and only 25% of the revenue at the airport. We don't have the ability to just say, hey, we were here first. I mean, under that stance, Republic could easily just say the landfill was here first. You just have to deal with the smell, so suck it up. So MTSU, we had some really tough conversations, and it really was more where the city was just saying, hey, this is what we can handle operationally at the airport. And if you want to go above that, then, you know, that's your vision, but that's not what we are looking to do. So they had to make some tough choices, and they made the decision that they're going to move their entire program to Shelbyville. And they're going to invest about $65 million down in Shelbyville and move their flight training program down there, which is a great move for MTSU. We're excited for them. We're excited for Bedford County, but more importantly, we're excited for Murfreesboro, because I think that is going to continue to transition our general aviation airport in the direction that it needs to go. You know, people will ask me routinely, well, what happens when your largest tenant is moving out? MTSU is a very insignificant amount of our total revenue coming into the airport, and the majority of the airport now is funded by taxpayer dollars. I mean, that's just the model now. So it's not really fair for the taxpayers to subsidize an airport for one user. And don't get me wrong, I love MTSU. I graduated from there. I was student body president there, but you know, my focus is not solely on MTSU. The city council's focus is on Murfreesboro, and if our goals and visions align, then that's great. But if they don't, then I think it's okay for the city and MTSU to say, look, we've got different visions on, you know, what we want to do.
An educator from the Nashville Zoo brought 3 animals to show students at Hobgood as part of the STEAM curriculum.
We make sure. Today we had someone in from the Nashville Zoo who presented 3 different animals to our students, and the question that our students are looking at is, what type of enclosure would you need to build in order not just for your animal to survive in the zoo, but in order to thrive?
All right, friends, he's gonna go straight for this bowl.
Hobgood Elementary are always finding creative ways to bring the classroom to life.
Because our district is a STEAM district, we're always looking for opportunities to partner with community members in order to enrich the lives of our students through STEAM.
The Nashville Zoo brought 3 live animals for a class of 6th graders that are currently working on their STEAM project and bringing together the STEAM subjects.
With science, they're thinking about things like an animal's habitat or their environment. With technology, they would even think about maybe how they would design an enclosure using technology. Engineering, of course, if you're an engineer, you're making plans, you're designing, you're making sure that what you have made is up to code and that it's safe for the animals.
Finding creative ways to introduce students to new careers and experiences can be challenging, but Ms. Bell tells us anytime animals are involved, it definitely keeps their attention.
Oh my goodness, they absolutely loved it. I think any time that we can give our students real life experiences to open up their eyes that there are careers out there that can be fun and things that they may be interested in, they're always up for that.
After 2 years of canceled games, the Middle Tennessee Special Olympics are back with hundreds of athletes competing for a chance at state. The Special Olympics in Murfreesboro are back in a big way.
After 2 years without the games, this is our first opportunity to celebrate our athletes and to create an authentic competition for them to compete in.
Over 500 Special Olympic athletes gathered at MTSU over a 2-day event, one day hosting high school and adults, the other elementary and middle school.
We're excited to offer it for all of our individuals with disabilities, intellectual and physical disabilities, but also the Special Olympics is a competition, so we're looking for those winners to can carry on and compete on the state level to represent Rutherford County.
The athletes compete in a variety of track and field events with volunteers from MTSU and local high school sports teams to help out and cheer them on.
They do traditional track and field events such as the 100 meter, the 50 meter. We have a 25 meter walk. We actually have a wheelchair race. And then we have our field events, which are softball throw and long jump. So participants are able to compete in up to 3 of those events.
Area 16 Director Thomas Laird says events like this are essential in not only giving these athletes a place to compete, but it also brings the community together.
Hey, Mom and Dad. Hey, Mom. I know you guys see me.
Programs like this is what creates an inclusive community. We've got the MTSU baseball team and Central Magnet girls basketball team are here to work directly with our athletes, and it just creates an environment inclusion. I think this, along with other programs we're doing within the city, are helping to change our culture.
While the games are a blast for the athletes competing, as you can tell by their excitement, it's also fun and touching for everyone involved.
It's amazing. It really is. It's the joy and athletics brings a smile to your face anyways, but this population in particular, it definitely warms your heart and it makes you feel good to be able to be a part of something like this. It's so much bigger than us.
Winners from this event will go on to compete at the state level in Nashville. For more information on the Special Olympics here in Middle Tennessee, visit specialolympics.tn.org. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. Rutherford County's Administrator of Elections sits down with CityTV's multimedia producer Steve Burris to share some important information on voting in Rutherford County.
Rutherford County just held local Democratic and Republican primaries for county political positions such as mayor, sheriff, commissioners, as well as many others.
Yeah, we finished up the county primary, and we had 20,635 voters, which is more than what we had in 2018. But still, out of 201,000 registered voters, that was a 10.3% voter turnout, which we'd love to see more people than that turn out.
Primaries are where voters choose the nominee in either the Democratic or Republican Party to run in the general election. On average, you see more voters show up for general elections than you do primaries. Farley explains why those are just as important.
A lot of times, those races determine who those are going to be because there's nobody to face in the general election. So there may be a contested primary, but that winner will be the one that will continue forward, but be unopposed in the general election. So really, those choices are being made in the primary. You can run as a Republican, you can run as a Democrat, or you can run as a nonpartisan independent. Independents don't run in a primary.
A common question from voters to the Election Commission is candidate information, so they can learn more about them.
The Election Commission, we are the ones who conduct the election. We don't promote or advocate for or against any candidate. So what I always encourage citizens to do is to get on the internet. You can go ahead, you can Google the candidates' names. They have websites, community events. We have a lot of things on the square. Email's an excellent way to communicate. That way you can send a list of questions or call. Sometimes there's phone numbers on campaign literature to call. I've not experienced in my time here a candidate who did not want to engage and answer questions.
Farley explains the 3 remaining local offices that don't hold primaries.
For the city, where you have a mayor and council that's on the ballot this time, those, along with the county road board, are the only 3 remaining offices that are not partisan. So you have an independent, nonpartisan mayor, independent, nonpartisan council members. Now, they may identify personally with a political party or thought, but they don't run under that banner.
The trend that the Election Commission is seeing is where voter turnout is better with national elections versus local elections.
Local elections have far much greater impact on a person, your education, infrastructure, roads, your local taxes is all determined by your local officials.
The upcoming August 4th, 2022 election is called the 8-year ballot and is one of the longest. Obtaining a sample ballot is the best way to familiarize yourself with what you'll be voting on.
Well, a sample ballot is very easy to get. Once we have the ballot set, then what we'll do is we'll post it on our website. So you can go to ruco.vote and be able to pull up a sample ballot. And I do encourage our voters, because of the length of the ballot, in order to move through the process and be respectful of your time and other voters' time, get that sample ballot. You can pick it up in our office on our front counter if somebody wants to drop in, pick one up.
Farley explains what the August 4th ballot will include.
Because there's 3 elections being held. You have the county general, you have the state and federal primary, and then you have the Murfreesboro municipal. That way you've got multiple ballots to look at, but it's all in the same election.
The League of Women Voters will host a city candidate forum in partnership with CityTV on June 7th, 2022. The forum can be viewed on the City of Murfreesboro's Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as on Murfreesboro City TV, located on Comcast Channel 3, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and mobile devices. One local Murfreesboro City school sends off their Special Olympic athletes in style.
John Pittard Elementary rolled out the red carpet for its Special Olympic athletes. All grade levels lined the hallways to cheer on the athletes that were headed to MTSU's track and soccer stadium to compete in Area 16 Special Olympic Spring Games.
We have our Tier 5 class, and these are students that have a variety of needs, and so they're taking part in the Special Olympics today. And this is one of those special days that our teachers and students love. And it's been like 3 years since we've been able to do this. The last one was pre-COVID, and so many of these kids spend most of their day in class with everybody else in the school. So they're part of this family just as much as anybody else is. And so our teachers and students are so excited just to celebrate our kids. Like, we love all our students, and everyone's equally important, and this is just one of those special moments. Everybody's a part of this community, and we want everybody to reach their full potential. And if every kid reaches their full potential, we're successful. So these are just a part of our community, and we're going to include them in everything we do. And had I not done that, I think my teachers and students would have been mad at me. So it was the perfect thing.
Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department is constantly training to keep their skills sharpened. They recently used the city's professional training facility for just that.
The Doug Young Public Safety Training Center has been a game changer in training for the Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department. The state-of-the-art facility aids the department in all of its much-needed training for new and existing firefighters.
We're doing some rope operations training today. We train every month on each special operations discipline. At least one day a month we try to come over here and really focus on one of the skills, because we have to train on this consistently to be proficient in what we do, and obviously we want to be the best we can for the city, so that's why we come out here all the time. And this month it's been chosen for us to go over our new equipment that the city's purchased for us. They're the CMC clutches. It's just a new device that we have that makes rope rescue a lot easier and a lot simpler for us. The clutch is a multi-use device. Typically any kind of rescue situation or low angle, high angle rescue, the rescuer will be lowered down instead of rappelling. However, this device does let us rappel if need be. You can hook it to you and into the rope. That way you control the speed yourself. Like I say, typically we're going to be lowering that rescuer down. That way they don't have to, they're completely hands-free. They can do what needs to be done to the patient or whatever the task is at hand. But with this clutch device, it makes it so much easier because basically one person can operate it. Where our old RPMP devices, it's a backpack full of hardware that we have to have. And when you go from lowering to raising, there's a whole switchover process that has to happen. And with this new clutch device, it really simplifies that down to really we just have to decide we're going to go to a 3-to-1 or a 5-to-1 to raise or lower. So it can be very dangerous. I don't know if you noticed in the video or not, before anybody gets close to the edge, we always have a double safety check. We check all buckles, carabiners, make sure they're locked. Everybody, before we load any of these systems, we always do a double check. 2 people lay their eyes on these systems to make sure nothing has been overlooked. Take the NHC building, for instance, downtown. You know, there's window washers that hang off the side of that all the time. The sheriff's department over there, same. And it doesn't really have to be that high up to need this stuff, because if you've got a 2-3 story building, but it's got a long offset from the road, our ladders may not reach that. So we may have to come down from the top to get somebody if it's a fall. We have had several construction type accidents where we had to use our rope skills. But not only that, low angle stuff as well. When we have vehicle crashes off an embankment or something, when that patient's in a Stokes basket, we can set up a low angle system to help guide that patient out of there. In this facility, we can do anything and everything. I mean, from the basic ropes to anything we need. We are very, very blessed and fortunate here at the city that they provide us with a facility this nice. And from what I understand, there's more to come to this facility in the future, and we can't wait for that. But yes, this is an awesome facility that we have at our hands.
Meet local artist Robin Cadell as she holds her first solo exhibit at the Center for the Arts Gallery and encourages other artists to follow their passions. With her first ever solo exhibit titled Artistic Candy at the Murfreesboro Center for the Arts, local artist Robin Cadell shares her creative process and what inspires her.
I have always really been into creativity ever since I was really young, but I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was younger. And I really kind of did a lot with fabric, and I just started getting into paper. There are a few paper pieces and paint within maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. So I saw a lot of things on Pinterest and I wanted to try them, and that's how I got started. I went to school for fashion merchandising. I was really inspired by Princess Diana. When she got married, I wanted to be a fashion designer and design bridal. And then I decided, I don't know if I really want to get into that, but I loved fashion and actually got into retail.
After working in retail for years, she decided to try her hand at her own creations.
I started getting into selling and creating a dog collar line, and so was doing a lot of creative things with dogs. And I just started seeing different things. I want to try this, I want to try that. Things just kind of come full circle, where I have made a few pieces where paper looks like fabric. I've used some things from my fashion where I really get into color, and so color has really made me feel very inspired.
After her successful pet line, she decided to get her hands into whatever she could.
I do a little bit of everything now. There's a big movement for a lot of things being handmade, so macrame and needle punch and that kind of thing. So you'll see a few pieces of mine that are more fiber wrapped. And then I've also gotten back into paper. I really am a multi-medium artist, so everything, I try a little bit of everything. I'll paint a few pieces, and then I'll create a few paper pieces, and then I'll really kind of go whatever inspires me. Everything sparks joy with me now, and I want to go home and make all the things. I want to make everything.
So, what advice does Cadell have for other aspiring artists?
Just start. just paint. Just find something, a color that makes you feel excited. You can YouTube videos about how to do things. I think that sometimes people feel like they aren't creative or they can't do something because they didn't go to school. But if you feel like you should paint, then you should just go find something that makes you feel excited and do it. The great thing about art is there's no right or wrong, and it's a great way to express yourself.
When asked why the arts are so important in the community, Cadell tells us that it's something she is very passionate about.
Art is so unifying for the community, and right now there's been so much going on with COVID and so much negativity in the world. It's so important to be able to get out and experience culture. It's uplifts your soul, it makes you happy, it brings a sense of peace and calm. It's fantastic to be able to interact with local artists and encourage them, encourage their processes. The Center for the Arts is a fantastic place to come and support people that are performing. You know, we love this area in, this place in Murfreesboro, and it would just be great for everyone to come out and support your local art community.
Cadell's exhibit has been one of the most successful shows at the gallery. Make sure to check her out on Facebook at R. Jackson Creative. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. The Focus on the Boro exhibit and award reception was held at Murfreesboro City Hall Rotunda to highlight local photographers and their work.
The rotunda inside City Hall is filled with a wide array of photography as Focus on the Boro returns. The exhibit showcases the works of local photographers. On this particular night, a celebration was held, and awards were presented in several categories.
Tonight we have the reception for Focus on the Boro 2022. It's very exciting because we're back after a year off. This is the reception to celebrate the exhibit itself, all of the photographers who entered the exhibit, and also to announce the images that the judges have chosen to be awarded.
Focus on the Boro is a great opportunity for photographers of all ages to participate. And participate they did, as there are over 170 photographs showcased. From still life to, well, full of life. There's a lot of different styles to see.
So we wanted to make Focus on the Boro accessible to everyone in the community. And it was important to do a few things. First of all, we partner with Nation's Photo Lab, who basically takes care of the printing for almost all of the participants. And another thing is that we have 9 different categories, and we have 2 different age groups. So we have adults, 18 and older, and we have kids, 17 and younger, or the youth category. And we let photographers participate who love all kinds of photography. People, animals, flora, landscapes, still life, Murfreesboro. There's just 9 different categories, so you can every photographer can find something that they love to take pictures of and enter into the contest or into the exhibit.
Like so many things, plans for Focus on the Boro over the last couple of years had to change due to the pandemic. But Nelson said there's a lot of excitement with its return to the City Hall Rotunda this year.
It felt fantastic, and what was more fantastic was on drop-off day, the photographers came in and brought in their work, and there were so many. We're so happy that Focus is back this year. We missed it last year. We're so glad to have this for our community, and that felt great that it's made an impression on the community and the people that participate, and they see it as a positive, uplifting event.
The display in the Rotunda and the overall Focus on the Boro event is just another great chance for artists in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County to shine.
I think it's so important to have events where the entire community can be included. I think too many times people feel like cultural events or artistic events aren't for them. I feel like this is an event that reaches out to our entire community and invites them to either come in and participate or come in and see the work of their family, their friends, their neighbors. Everybody can come in and celebrate art and our community with an event like this.
So take the time to stop by Murfreesboro City Hall, located at 111 West Vine Street, to check out the 2022 Focus on the Borough event. It's on display until June 28th.
Mayor McFarland and the City of Murfreesboro hosted an economic development announcement at City Hall to unveil plans to open a 4,500-seat state-of-the-art open-air amphitheater in the Murfreesboro Gateway called the Sunset Music Coliseum on the river. The multi-million-dollar Sunset Amphitheater will host large touring acts on a live music entertainment campus featuring amenities including 32 fire pit suites, stadium-style seating, and casual lawn seating. Live streaming from the amphitheater and the indoor venue called the Boot Barn Hall is also in the plans. The facilities will be located on the 18.2-acre city parcel located on the southeast corner of Medical Center Parkway and Gateway Boulevard. LawnStarter ranked Murfreesboro number 14 in 2022 in the best cities for urban gardening, which was based on 13 factors such as easy access to gardening space and supplies, ideal climate, and a local gardening community. The Saturday Market on the Square and the Rutherford County Farmers Market at the Lane Agri Park are both open for the 2022 season. Check them out to shop and buy produce to support local Tennessee farmers. The Rutherford County Farmers Market is located at the Lane Agri Park off John Rice Boulevard. It's open Tuesdays and Fridays from 7 a.m. to noon through October. The Saturday Market is located on Murfreesboro's Public Square. It's open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon through October. The City of Murfreesboro Transportation Department will be testing out the flashing yellow turn signal at 2 intersections along Lytle Street in downtown Murfreesboro. The testing of the flashing yellow arrows will be in June at the intersection of Maple and Lytle Street next to the Rutherford County Judicial Center, and Walnut and Lytle Street near the county clerk's office.
Something new is coming soon to our downtown streets: flashing yellow arrows. The City of Murfreesboro Transportation Department will be testing out flashing yellow arrows at 2 intersections along Lytle Street in the downtown area. One will be at Walnut and Lytle near the county clerk's office and Middle Tennessee Electric, and the other at Maple and Lytle next to the Judicial Center. Drivers will see a flashing yellow arrow to indicate that they can turn left after yielding to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. The goal is to prevent collisions by reminding drivers turning left across traffic that they must yield to oncoming traffic. Here's how it works. Currently, a green light means drivers can turn left, but must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. What is changing is a flashing yellow arrow would mean that drivers are allowed to turn after yielding to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. If you have any questions regarding the new signals, please contact the city's transportation department at 615-893-6441.
Juneteenth this year is going to be bigger and better than ever. This 3-day celebration will have something for everyone. This holiday celebrates the freedom of enslaved people in the United States.
Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Cameron Mitchell. I am the Poet Laureate of Murfreesboro for this year. So listen, I want to talk to you about this amazing event coming up called Juneteenth. What is it about? It's about culture. It is about community coming together. It's about having crazy fun, but it's also about celebrating freedom. It's about showing up. Why? Because it's about you. And you know it's about to go down. So come on out for this amazing celebration from June 16th to the 18th. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please contact Von Shell for any further information here at the Bradley Academy Museum.
PAWS of Rutherford County Pet of the Month is Kiko. Kiko is a 1-year-old Staffordshire Terrier who is full of life. He loves attention, playing outside, and treats. He's basically a big puppy. He's super loving and just needs someone to help show him the ropes and continue to work on commands as he still has lots of puppy energy. Kiko is already neutered and up to date on his vaccinations. Visit paws.rutherfordcountytn.gov/adopt to learn more about adopting a pet from PAWS. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the city of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.